7 black books are hidden away within Solstheim. Each bears unique, forbidden knowledge that cannot be learned in the normal plane. Exactly 19 powers of exceptionally powerful knowledge can be conceived, but not by mere mortals, only a Dragonborn. Greetings, wizards! In this video, I am going to rank all 19 black book powers in Skyrim from worst to best. This is of course in my own opinion and may well vary for you. Nonetheless, feel free to comment your thoughts down below. Waking Dreams. Only made obtainable during the Dragonborn's main questline, the Temple of Miraak is where you'll find Waking Dreams. Only one power can be obtained in Waking Dreams, and is by far the hardest to earn. Many Draugr, Seekers, Lurkers, and the first Dragonborn himself will need to be overcome. However, the reward is hardly significant for the amount of effort required. Opening the Black Book at the summit of Apocrypha will reveal all 18 skills. Approaching any of these respective symbols and offering one dragon soul will allow you to completely reset all of your perks within that skill tree. Only on the rare occasion though is it useful, when you intend to adjust a skill tree or change up your build. It's also worth noting that making a skill legendary when it reaches 100 does the exact same thing. The Winds of Change. Accessed through Raven Rock Mine, the final chamber of Bloodskull Barrow is where you'll find the Winds of Change. Zakrisos, a shock-based dragon priest, is also located nearby, but can be avoided if you wish.
No, I don't think so. Not today.
Companion's Insight. As its name suggests, Companion's Insight is designed with your fellow traveller in mind. It protects them from your careless behaviour, but only while in combat. It prevents your spells, shouts, and attacks from doing any damage to them. There's no longer a concern for what you might do in the heat of the moment, and you can simply focus on the enemy. This freedom to do what you want without consequence will be a relief for some, but I for one do not see the use of this power.
Damn wizards and their damn magic.
It's also worth mentioning that you can still kill your followers in combat via special effects. The instant kill offered by Maruna's Razor, for example. And sadly, it doesn't affect mounts and followers' thralls, so you may still butcher your horse. Scholar's Insight. Offering 2 skill points for reading one skill book, Scholar's Insight is best saved for when your skills are nearing their max. The reason for this is that the XP required per skill increases with every level, and so reading skill books early on with this power activated is just disgusting. Don't do it, you'll thank yourself later. When you come across a skill book, a top tip is to place it in your inventory for use later on.
Will do.
When that corresponding skill reaches the 90s, you can then put Scholar's Insight to good use. Lover's Insight. Finishing the best of a bad bunch, Lover's Insight grants the player with 10% more damage, as well as 10% better prices from people of the opposite sex. Now, if your character's female, this is pretty useful. Since the majority of enemies you face will be male, you can make the most of these effects. For male characters, however, while not as useful, there's still plenty of female merchants throughout the lands, and once you get to know where they are, you can simply avoid dealing with same-sex merchants altogether.
Some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside.
I've added a link to the description that displays all merchants, their whereabouts, and gender. Untold Legends. Found after the word wall in Ben-Congarike. I hope I pronounced that right, though it could have been Ben-Congarike, but I'd like to think that these Reeklings pronounce it as the former, Ben-Congarike. Nevertheless, I digress. A passageway leads to the forbidden knowledge. Secret Servant. If you often find yourself with this message, then this power is for you. When activated, it summons a Dremora butler to your service, who will carry any items for you up to a maximum total weight of 148. It's safe to say that he's not much of a deadlifter. I mean, look at those twigs, but I suppose he lends a helping hand. If you're like me and find that followers cramp your style, this secret servant is perfect, as he only needs to be there when you want him. Smuggling items into restricted areas with this butler is also a breeze, particularly useful when arrested, or during the Sidna Mine or Thalmor Embassy quests. Alternatives to this butler include followers, who can generally carry more, fortify carrying capacity on your gear, the Steed Stone, or just acting more responsibly. Bardic Knowledge. If you want tunes on your travels, don't turn to Spotify. No, use the spectral drum. When activated, it appears before you, floating with musical notes while playing a banger. It stays for 300 seconds, and during that time, improves stamina regeneration by 50%. This is not just for yourself though, as allies in a 250-foot radius will also enjoy the banger, and in turn receive its benefits. Due to their lack of stamina regeneration in sunlight, vampires will appreciate its effect, and when combined with the Windwalker perk, normal stamina regeneration can be attained. Also useful when countering the Necromancer Amulet and maintaining the Breath of Nutchwak. But if you tend to finish encounters before your stamina runs out, this power will go amiss. Black Market. Similar to Secret Servant, Hermaeus Mora is summoned from Oblivion. But this time, he's a dealer and actually appreciates you.
You have many things I wish to buy.
His inventory is leveled, and he holds combat-related stock. At higher levels, he's a reliable source for Daedric items, even granting players access to it before level 48. And now and again has dragonplate armor for sale. Though he doesn't boast a huge collection of wares, he'll stock only the best for your level and always has 2,000 gold. The ability to summon him wherever and whenever you want is also priceless, as he cuts out the time-consuming task of finding merchants to sell to.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. Take a
His
look.
efficiency will come at a small cost though. He scores a 9% discount when buying from you, and if the haggling perk rank 2 or higher are not yet owned, he sells at a 25% inflation. The Sallow Regent. Located in White Ridge Barrow, guarded by explosive creepy crawlies, Reavers, Draugr, and the Dragon Priest Dukan, the Sallow Regent can be found opposite the Word Wall. Seeker of Might. All combat skills are enhanced by 10% and improve smithing by 10%. Seeker of Sorcery. All spells cost 10% less to cast, and enchantments are 10% more powerful. Seeker of Shadows. All stealth skills are enhanced by 10% and improves alchemy by 10%. These are the active effects provided by the Sallow Regent, and due to their likeness, albeit for the different skill types, ranking them individually is irrelevant. Choosing the effect that will best serve your build should determine your choice, and with that being said, and being the superior wizard that I am, I'll be choosing Seeker of. Sorry about that, I said Seeker of. I guess it's against the rules, guys. I just can't say it. Seeker of. Anyway, what's great about these black books is that you can simply change your selection at any time. Are you smithing some gear? Then make sure you have the Seeker of Might activated. Are you done smithing gear and now want to enchant it? Get back to Apocrypha and swap it out for Seeker of Sorcery. The Hidden Twilight. obtained after completing the Reluctant Steward side quest. Master Neloth, a good friend of mine from Tel Mithrin, will unlock the room that holds the Black Book. Mora's Grasp. The description of this power sounds rather epic. Freezes the target between Oblivion and Tamriel for 30 seconds, making them immune to all damage. But in practice, it's just not that useful. Good to use on high damage dealing bosses though, especially when there's a cluster of enemies surrounding you, as you can temporarily remove them from the action. Once their combatants are wiped out, you can prepare for the 1v1. Other than that, you can use it on your follower, but this will totally remove them from combat for its duration. Alternatives to this daily power include alteration spells such as Ash Shell and Paralyze, Poison of Paralysis applied to your weapons, and the Iceform Shout. Mora's Agony. Bringing forth Hermaeus Mora's poisonous tentacles, Mora's Agony can turn the tide of any battle by obstructing the target. Aesthetically for me, it's sublime, and it's pretty handy too. Lasting 30 seconds, enemies that get caught in this field of writhing tentacles will sustain 20 points of damage and will constantly be staggered backwards. Much like Mora's Grasp, this is great for crowd control and can only be used once per day. Casting it on a narrow path such as this bridge will stop the enemies from advancing, allowing you to flee the scene or continue the massacre. Mora's Boon. Just like the previous two powers, this one also has the once per day cap, but can be bypassed fairly easily. With a power like this though, a daily limit, in my opinion, is very generous. Restoring 1000 points of health, stamina, and magicka, Mora's Boon is best saved for when your health looks like this.
Oh my god!
Okay, maybe not that close to death, but you get the idea. When you begin to hear your heart beat through your chest, use it and watch your 3 bars restore instantaneously. Leveling up also does the same thing and restores your bars entirely, no matter how many points you have invested. Filament and Filigree. Here lies Filament and Filigree. At the bottom of an ancient Nordic tomb, under a mountain of ash and rubble, guarded by waves of undead Draugr. Oh, and acid down. The Red Mountain eruption filled the tomb long ago, and it must be fully excavated and cleared before the Black Book can be retrieved. Secret of Strength. Assisting close combat warriors for 30 seconds, Secret of Strength ensures that all power attacks come at no extra cost. Any punch, swing of the blade, or block with the shield is on the house. Cheers to Hermaeus Mora. This means that you can brutalize your foes to a pulp and walk away like you haven't just committed a crime. With that being said, most of the time you'll already have enough stamina to finish the job. But if you don't, then get enchanting, drink some potions, eat some ingredients, or just perform standard attacks. Secret of Protection. Just like the previous and following power, Secret of Protection can only be used once per day, and rightly so. With it, the damage you sustain from physical attacks will be halved, and the same can be said for most magical attacks. It's similar to the Berserker Rage power, and so if you are an orc, they can indeed be stacked.
No one bests an orc.
It can't make you invincible. That would be overpowered, but it does bring your damage resistance to a respectable 75%. All builds can make use of this power and could make the difference between life and death. Secret of Arcana. One of my personal favorites, and not just useful for mages either. With Secret of Arcana, your spells will cost no magicka for 30 seconds. This is good enough in itself, as you can cast exceptionally powerful spells relentlessly. But what's left out is that it also affects enchantments. For example, this weapon I have has no charge remaining. However, once the power is used, boom, the enchantment acts as if it still has charge. This makes keening, staffs, and other quick draining weapons viable at last. No need to recharge them over and over again after a few swings, shots, or casts.
What? No!
Master spellcasting also doesn't require any magic fortifying gear or perks to be able to cast them. Just unleash your fury with Secret of Arcana.
Such a good idea.
But wait, there's more. This power is said to last 30 seconds. However, if you never release the trigger, concentration spells will continue to cost 0 magicka.
No.
In other words, you'll be able to cast spells like telekinesis, healing, clairvoyance, sparks, equilibrium, etc. forever. Epistolary Acumen. Following an elaborate main storyline quest, a path of knowledge will lead you to Nashardak, the city of 100 towers. One of the largest and perhaps most advanced of all Dwemer archives is buried underwater. Theories vary as to why this happened. One points to the Red Mountain eruption, but another claims that Dwemer themselves submerged the entire city to thwart a Nord invasion and to preserve the archives. What is known is that the Dwemer found a very rare tome containing esoteric knowledge. Thought to be of great value, they locked it away within the city, which is where it still lies to this day. Dragonborn Flame. A very cool, or should I say hot, ability indeed. With Dragonborn Flame, if a foe is killed with fire breath, their corpse will bring forth a fireworm. It is much like the Ice Wraith in combat, and there is no limit to how many fireworms you can have at once.
Yes!
With that said, the ability is best used on weak enemies, such as skeevers, mud crabs, or jumping spiders, so that you can have a smoking party. There are better summons available though, and I found that my battles tended to end before the worm could really be utilized. Nonetheless, only the first word is required to have the summoning effect. But it's worth noting that some enemies, like skeletons and Dwemer constructs, do not spawn fireworms. Dragonborn Force. Fushradar is such a versatile shout. It's one that's commonly used and abused.
Don't do that again. Last warning.
It entertains, it's extremely effective, and can be easily obtained. Dragonborn Force enhances this already perfect shout and makes it even more powerful. With it, the damage output of Unrelenting Force is increased, and requiring that all three words are used, there's a chance of disintegrating enemies if their health is low. Like the other two abilities in this book, they can be used in conjunction with one of Parthunax's meditations to make them even more deadly.
It is called force in your tongue.
Dragonborn Frost. You guessed it, Dragonborn Frost also enhances one other shout, Frost Breath. Unlike the Ice Form shout, Frost Breath on its own is unable to encase foes in ice, but when the shout is backed with Hermaeus Mora's knowledge, this changes the game. It not only traps your enemies in ice, but it deals even more damage than Ice Form. There is one small caveat to this though. Ice Form still wins the battle for the longest duration frozen. This may be true, but the ice from Dragonborn Frost is built different. It allows you to attack frozen enemies without showing a crack. Now, unless you wanted to run for your life and buy yourself some time, Frost Breath and Hermaeus Mora are superior. On the topic of shouts, if you'd like to learn more about them and how to best utilize them, you should definitely check out this video. Thank you for watching, Wizard, and for your patience. More regular content is coming, I assure you. This has been the Welsh Wizard, and I shall see you all in the next one.